Welcome to FP Markets webinar on how to use our CFD and spread bet trading platform. Firstly, we're just going to walk through some system requirements and some browser settings that are needed to facilitate the trading platform. The best browsers to use for the CFD and spread betting platform is most definitely Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox when using a PC. If you're using a Mac, again, Mozilla Firefox tends to be the most popular, although you most definitely can use it via Safari. The first thing and the only bit of software needed to run our trading platform is Java. To get Java, or to make sure you've got the right version of Java, simply head to www.java.com, which is java.com. Once you're in here, head down just below the free Java download to the link that says Do I Have Java? Once you click on that, it's going to run a system for you that says Verify your Java version. Once you do this, it will take a little bit of time, but it will check your machine to see what Java you've got, if you've got it, and what version you've got. Once this has happened, it will let you know whether you do have Java on the latest version of Java, and if not, there will be a download button there for you to easily update your Java. Once you've done this, it's now time to log into the platform. To log into the platform, simply head to www.fpmarkets.co.uk. Once you're in here, all you have to do is head to the very top here where you can see to log into the CFD platform or the spread bet platform. Simply click on your username where you type in your 6-digit user code and then simply followed by your password and select login. Alternatively, if the website is down or you can't get to this page, simply head to web.iress.co.uk. This will take you to an alternative page where you have the ability to log in. Once you're here, it's a very, very similar process. Once you're here, it's very easy to log in. Use your username that you have as usual. This time you have to follow it up with an @FP Markets. And the same password you usually use, followed by leaving it in the browser and leave product as Irish Trader and select login. Now before we proceed with setting up a workspace and obviously heading into placing some buy and sell orders and so forth, I just wanted to show you the idea of a modern age trading pit, or what we refer to as a depth screen. So this is the modern version of where buyers and sellers do come together to create a market. Firstly, to select whatever individual instrument it is you want to have a look at. So let's have a look, for example, today at Vodafone on the London Stock Exchange. So the 3-code ticker followed by the exchange it's on, .LSE, and hitting enter will populate this box for you. The depth screen will display for you bids, asks, or also referred to as offers, and last 20 trades along with some other details. So firstly, to get around how all this works, the bid queue is a line where all the buyers line up to place their orders, and the ask queue is the queue where people line up to sell. Both of these are prioritized firstly by price and then secondly by time. So for example, in the bid queue on the left hand side, you will see that the higher the price you select, the higher up the order you go, and then within the multiple people at that same price that want to trade, it is the first person in that will be at the top of the queue. Vice versa, with the ask queue, people who are selling, or the offer queue, it will be the lowest price that will get you to the top of that queue, and then again, all the people at the same price will then be prioritized by time. You can see in the middle are the volumes that are available. On the right hand side under price is the price that people are willing to buy or sell their CFDs at. On the left hand side is the number of different orders at that single price. Okay, very similar for the offers, and then on the right hand side are the last 20 trades. So what happens is when a bid price and an offer price overlap, that's when a trade occurs, and you'll see them go through here on the right hand side. Being direct market access, this is live to the London Stock Exchange. Okay, so all these orders that you can see in the bid and offer queue are people throughout the market placing their orders. It might be simple share traders, it could be hedge funds, it could be big investment banks, it could be a mum and dad trader, it could be other direct market access CFD traders. So it can be anyone in the market whatsoever, and that's why you can see such a large line of depth. At the top here, you'll see you get full access to market volumes. So already today for Vodafone, and it's only 9:45 in the morning, you can see that already over 10 million Vodafone shares have gone through the London Stock Exchange. So this DMA access model and this depth gives you full access, full market depth, and complete transparency. To proceed now, let's walk through the setup of our CFD platform and the best way to configure it for your trading style. The CFD platform is fully customizable. Firstly, if you head up to Window and then click on Configure Display, there are already some default function sets for you that can split your screen up whichever way you see fit. Firstly, for example, if you wanted just a standard 4-frame horizontal split, it will automatically divvy up the screen into 4 different windows for you, where you can obviously fill in what details you need. What most people run is what's called Mdi Mode or Window Mode, which in the CFD platform allows you to run it sort of like your Windows software package, okay, which means floating windows which you can minimize, maximize, resize, etc. In this case, what you do is, now that we're in this Mdi Windows mode, is you simply select the screens that you'd like to see. So the way I'm going to set it up for this demonstration purpose is the way I have my trading screen set up. So firstly, I would then request my portfolio window, which is under Analytics. By selecting on Portfolio, it will launch my portfolio window for me. So you can see here, if I run my mouse over the edges of any of the corner of the boxes, or even in the middle, you can resize and restructure these windows. I can minimize it by clicking on the minimize button, which will then just bring it down to the bottom left of the screen, in which I can then maximize the full size of the screen. So again, very much like running your Windows software package. I now need to select the CFD tab because I'm trading CFDs, and also select my account number there. So here we can see on the right hand side, if you do have multiple accounts, whether it be some joint accounts or an individual account, a company account, it will all be displayed on the right hand side here under your portfolio section. So you can select the account you want to trade on. On the left hand side here, you can see your portfolio summary, which gives you a bit of a financial overview of your account. This is all updated live with the markets, so you will see figures changing quite frequently, as I am holding a position at the moment. So your GLV is your gross liquidation value, which is the value if you were to liquidate all your positions at the last traded price, is the value you'll walk away with, obviously less commissions. Your initial margin is what is stumped up to take a position. Free equity is the equity you've got left to trade with, to enter new positions in the market. Your realised profits and losses for the day, your unrealised profits and losses, and your overall profit and loss. Initial margin used is always something to keep an eye on when encroaching margin calls, and your gross exposure to the market is always handy to know as well. At the bottom here is your securities section, which outlines and will hold any position that you've got at the moment, and will run your total profit and loss and so forth, so you can monitor your current portfolio. Secondly, I always have a depth screen, as we have touched on previously. The depth screen is always brilliant for keeping an eye on what it is that you'd like to trade in the markets. Thirdly, I always like to have my, under orders, I like to have my order pad open. The order pad will enable me to view any orders I've placed in the market. Here I can amend, delete, and I suppose just view all my orders. There's also historical orders, and you can filter it by whether it's filled, pending, open, etc. And like I said, you can go back and have a look at the last few days' orders that you've participated in. Lastly, for stop losses and breakout trades, etc., the CFD platform refers to these as contingent orders, so I would simply select under orders again my contingent order pad. My contingent order pad is very similar to my order pad, but again is used for my stop losses, take profits, and a few other different order types like trailing stops. And here again, I can amend, delete, and filter my orders efficiently. So this is a basic layout of a screen that I may use. Some traders are quite different, so it is entirely up to you. And this is a basic workspace layout. Now there is a lot of functionality within the CFD trading platform. Definitely too much to fit into one screen. So it also does run a tabbed workspace layout, very similar to, let's say, a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So down the bottom here, you can see we're on a default tab. We can create a new workspace. Let's call it Charts. By selecting OK, so it keeps my first default workspace layout, as we've just set up previously, but it also now has a second workspace layout. You can have multiple workspace layouts, you don't just have to keep it to 2. And here, as an example, we'll touch on charting a little bit later on, but here, for example, we might have all our charts displayed, maybe even multiple depth screens. For those of you who do trade a lot of foreign exchange, for example, we might want to bring up a quick trade ticket, and then some people will minimize their portfolio window, for example, and run a couple of quick trade tickets down the bottom here. It is always handy if you do want to jump in and out of positions quite frequently, and definitely a quite good functionality for the CFD trading platform. Again, this is additional functionality that our CFD platform does offer. The idea now is if you have your platform set up the way you see fit, you head up to Window and then simply select Save Layout. This will save your layout as you currently have it, so that each time you log in it returns back to the way you've saved it. You can also now go up, if you do change something around and you don't like the way you've changed it, you can also head back to Window and restore your previously saved layout. Now on to placing a buy order. There are a couple of ways to create a buy order. Some people will use a quick trade ticket, which we will cover a little bit later on. But the basic or the standard way to create a buy order, firstly, some people go up to the orders drop-down menu and you can create a buy or a sell order from here, which will bring up your standard order ticket. Alternatively, the easiest way to do it is usually if you do have a depth screen running, is to right-click anywhere. You can even do it in the bid, the offer, or simply up on the security code. We right-click, will give us some more options, and head down to create buy order. By doing this, it will automatically fill out your order ticket with the CFD instrument that you're looking at trading, okay, whether it be an equity or foreign exchange or futures, etc. In this case, it's already filled out Vodafone. We can see our account number here. Again, you can select from multiple accounts if that is if you do trade on more than one account. It will give you a brief snapshot of exactly what the markets are doing. So here we can see the bid, the offer, the last, and the volumes that are available being direct market access. Security lot size obviously is a minimum of 1 because we're trading an equity CFD. The initial margin on this instrument in particular is 5%, and under short YN, we can see here that if there is a yes there, denotes that you can short sell that instrument. If there's an N there, it means no, and you'd simply call us up and see if there is any shorting available on that instrument. Secondly, we can now select our volume. So let's say we want to trade in 100 Vodafone. Now we head down to price. Here we can select the price that we want either by toggling up and down, or we can simply wipe that out and select the price we want to trade at. Let's say it was 170.2. So this makes it very, very easy. Your order summary down at the bottom will give you a bit of an overview. So by trading 100 Vodafone at 172.2, we will see this give us an estimated trade value of £172.20p and an initial margin of only £8.61p. Alternatively, some people do like to select their lot sizes rather than actually selecting a volume. So in this case, if I wanted to trade £1,000 worth of Vodafone, I'd simply set in my target value and hit set. Now at the price we've designated, it will then, or the price the current market's at, we will then give you a volume so that your estimated value, trade value, is going to be as close to that target value that you set. For this example's sake, we're just going to trade 100. The current market you can see either from within the order ticket, which is the bid and the offer, or again you can have a look at your depth screen. Current market's at 172.45. If I want to get filled without actually using an actual market order and just use a limit order, I can simply select 173 just to make sure we get filled at the current market price. It will always fill you at the best price available, even if you do put your order above or well below what the current bid and ask is. So by selecting buy, you will see this filter down into my order pad and very quickly disappear because it gets filled, and you will see it fill out 100 volume in my portfolio window if you keep an eye on it. So by selecting buy, it will ask you to confirm the order that you're putting through. By selecting OK, you'll see it very quickly filters through and then straight into the market, and you get filled for 100. Vodafone gives you your average price here. As I said, we did put the order in at 173, but we got one filled at 171.9, and it gives you a market value and a running profit and loss on that individual position. Now to exit this Vodafone, just to show you in more detail how the depth works, we're going to place a limit sell order on that Vodafone position we have. So if I head down to my portfolio window, you can see the position we've already got there. The best way to open a sell order, or especially to exit a position, a lot of people do like to right click on the position in their portfolio and simply select the create sell order. So it will automatically fill out that we're holding 100 and it will select obviously the stock and our account number for us. In this case, I'm actually going to place our sell order a fair way away from the market to show you how you'll sit in the market depth. So if we have a look in the depth screen and we break it down into detail. Now by breaking down a depth screen into detail means it does split it up by every single individual order rather than all of the different orders at the same price condensed. So let's pick an odd price. Let's go 176.1. So we can see ourselves, we should pop into the depth right about here. So if we go 176.1 and we select sell, we're going to obviously confirm that order, keep an eye on this depth screen. Once I select OK, you see we just entered there, 176.1, there's our 100 for sale. So you can see how far down the queue we are right here, and you can run straight back up to the top and monitor how far from you are. Now, this is in the market, as you can see. We're now down in our order pad, so we have today's pending and open orders for our account. So we can see the Vodafone on the London Stock Exchange. BS is going to be a buy or a sell. The order volume we've got there is 100. The price we've specified is obviously 176.1. It is a limit order. Account status OK means it's in the market, it's live and it's working. And your remaining volume that's in the market is 100. As this gets filled, it will move into the done volume total and the average price will filter through here. This is where we will now be able to amend our order if we need be. So what we can do here is simply right click on the current order we've got, amend that order, it will bring up the exact order ticket that we had, and we can now simply amend it down to the market. We can see above there it's at 172.05, so let's just go in at 172.05. So let me select amend, OK. You'll see the price amending there. Once it gets filled very quickly, you see it disappeared and the volume has gone from our Vodafone position in our portfolio window. Next, we're going to move on to contingent orders. Contingent orders are in the CFD platform, also used for breakout trading, for stop losses, anything where we're waiting for a point in the market to be reached before an order is triggered. Now, I've simply brought up here a contingent order pad as well, which is where we monitor these separately from limit orders or market orders we've already got. To create a contingent order, it's very, very similar to creating a buy order. Let's change stocks. Let's say we want to trade BMW on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Now, in this instance, to create a contingent order is very, very similar to creating a standard buy order. We want to right-click on the code and head down to Create Contingent Order. Alternatively, we can also create it from our contingent order pad. Here we can see Add, and if we click Add, it will also generate us a contingent order pad. Now, at the moment, our destination is the types of contingent orders we can have. We've got a few options there. Fixed CO refers to fixed contingent order, so just a standard contingent order. There is if done contingent order functionality, an OCO, one cancels the other, and also a trailing stop loss or a trailing contingent order. Now, at the moment, we're just going to go through a contingent order. These will be covered either later in this webinar series or in another webinar that we've got on the website. So we want to leave it as fixed CO for fixed contingent order. By right-clicking in the depth screen for BMW, we can see that it's already generated or already filled in our BMW here. Now, here on the left-hand side, or this whole left-hand column, is basically the contingency we're waiting for in the market, or a point in the market at which we then want to trigger the action and the order on the right-hand side to go into the market. So in this case, let's say we were waiting for BMW to break a support line below the current market price before we want to sell and go short. Here we can see we've got our fixed price base. In this case, it's whether we want our contingency to be based on whether it's the last price, whether the bid or the ask reaches a certain price. I would normally leave it as last because during auction periods, especially for equity CFDs, you'll find that the bid and offer can do some quite erratic things during auction periods and trigger unwanted contingent orders. So last price tends to be relatively standard. The condition, there are quite a few options here, obviously greater than the price you specify, less than, equal to a specific price, or greater than or equal, or less than or equal. In this case, we're waiting for the market to drop below where it currently is before we sell. So we're going to say less than or equal to. Now currently BMW, you can see in our little snapshot here, the last price is 54.15. So let's say if we wanted to wait for BMW to get down to 52.00, and now our action is we actually want to sell because we're going to want to go short to ride a breakout trade on the downside. So we're going to select sell in our action. Make sure you always have this specified so you don't end up with an unwanted position. Our account is already filled in. Again, a brief snapshot of the market. More importantly, we now want to select the volume. So let's say we want to go short 10 BMW equity CFDs. Now we can then specify the price the order goes in at. So we're waiting for the market to go down to be equal to or less than 52. Now in this instance, we want to have a look here and say, well, if it's trading at 52, because that's going to be our trigger, what price do we want our sell? So to avoid a fast moving market, you might go actually below 52. So you might say 51.95 or something along those lines. Alternatively, by hitting the advanced tab, we can select at market. In this case, we're just going to use a limit. Now once we've done this, we've got everything filled out the way we'd like. We select OK. Here we can obviously see, again, just a brief snippet of what we want to do. Now this isn't going to be triggered at the moment because we have specified a last price less than 52. Therefore, it's going to go straight in to our contingent order pad you can see here. So that populated straight away. Now that we can see this in our contingent order pad, that's obviously not going to get hit just yet because the current price is 54. So as in a normal order pad, right click on the contingent order to amend the contingent order. It will bring up exactly the same details. Now what I'm going to do to show you how it gets triggered instantaneously is bring this up. So it's currently trading at 54. So if we said if the last price was less than or equal to 55, which is currently the case, we're going to sell the 10. Now I'm going to bring this up more closer to market. Because it is currently trading at 54. So let's say we put in our limit of 54, so it gets triggered straight away. Select OK. We want to confirm our amendment. Now once we do this, you'll see that that gets triggered straight away, which triggered our order straight away, and we can see we're already short 10 BMW. Now, to denote a short position in your portfolio, you'll see that the actual volume is minus 10. Okay, so any negative figure in actual volume in your portfolio is basically specifying that you are short. So that is the easiest way to use a contingent order. Now what we're going to do is create what's called an OCO, moving on from contingent orders. Most people will use this to create a stop loss and a take profit. And our OCO stands for one cancels other, which is an order type that enables you to attach two legs or two different contingent orders to an open position. And in most cases, as I mentioned, one will be used as a take profit and stop loss. Now the idea behind this is so that when one of those is triggered, whether it be the take profit or the stop loss, then once that's triggered, it will cancel the other leg so that you don't have an unwanted open take profit or stop loss when the position no longer exists. To do this, I'd go to my position again in my portfolio, right click and create contingent order. This time the difference being, instead of using a fixed contingent order, we're going to select the drop down and go to OCO. By selecting OCO, we'll now see an order tree on the left hand side, which just shows you what it is we're trying to achieve here. So the top line specifies that we've got an OCO in play. We've now just got to go in and fill out the details of each leg of our contingent order. So we'll see here that the take profit and stop loss will be a standard fixed contingent order. So the first one we're going to do, let's say take profit. So we've gone short BMW at around that 54 mark. So what we want to do now is specify where we want our take profit. We now need to fill in firstly the equity that it is we're trading, the equity CFD that we're trading. Our take profit being a short position is going to be below the market. So we're waiting for the market to go below a certain point. So it's going to have to be less than or equal to or simply less than. So we select that. Let's say our take profit, we got in at around 54, our take profit might be at 52. Now, we are going to buy. We are short, so to close out a short position of 10, we need to buy 10 back. So here we're going to specify our volume. Our volume is that we're short 10, so we want to have to buy 10. I've left the price at market so that no matter what it triggers at below that price, it's going to just buy my position back at market. Now we want to go over and select our second leg, which is going to be our stop loss. So because we're short, our stop loss is going to be above the market. Okay, so in this case, when it reaches a price greater than or equal to. Now we got in at 54, so our stop loss might be at 56. Again, we have to specify our volume at 10. We will leave it as a buy because again, we're still exiting a short position. And again, I'm going to leave it at market just to make sure we exit. Once we click OK, It wants us to confirm that we're sure of this order, and we select yes, and you'll now see this order in our contingent order pad yet again. Here we can see, so the top line will denote that we're in an OCO, or we've created an OCO, and then the two legs of our OCO, so the stop loss and the take profit. Now that's going to sit in the market until one of those two is triggered. So let's amend this by right clicking on it so that we can see one leg trigger and the other one stay fixed. So let's say our take profit triggered at anything below 54.5. The market's already trading below that price, so we know it's going to trigger automatically. I just want to show you the functionality as to how it then cancels the take profit, and we'll place that order through and exit our BMW position. So before verifying this, you'll now see once this goes into the order pad, it will trigger one leg of the order pad, create a limit order, put that through to market, and the BMW position in our portfolio window will go back to 0. So you'll see there, that was very, very quick. It triggered the second leg, it triggered one leg of the contingent order that we amended, which then fired an order through, and we now have 0 BMW CFDs. If we want to go check and have a look at that, we can go to all orders, and it will show us all our orders. We can see here that our OCO that was triggered, we had our two legs there for BMW. One got triggered, you can see here under the contingent order status, and the other one was deleted. Okay, so our take profit was triggered, which then deleted our stop loss, and we now have no BMW position. So that's an OCO order. The CFD platform has many tools that will aid you in your trading. I just want to take some time to walk through a few of these. Firstly would be alerts. If you head up to analytics, here we can set alerts to trigger to warn us of certain market events or even prices. We simply left click on add once the alerts box is generated. Here we can select whether it's a price type or a news report that we're looking for. For this example's purpose, we're going to go with price and then the subtype, so we can go last price or cumulative volume in that CFD instrument. Then by simply selecting next, we can select the security code. Again, let's say it's Vodafone. To keep it simple. Obviously all your options as to whether the price that we're waiting for our alert is either greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or simply less than. Now we have to type in the actual price that we're waiting for. So let's say we're waiting for Vodafone to hit 160, greater than or equal to, and then select finish. Now you'll see that that has filled into our alerts box, and obviously because it's greater than that at the moment, the alert has already triggered for us in a window here that we can see. We also have the quotes window, which can be found under pricing. Quote window is great for, I suppose, looking at general market activity and also creating and using your own watch lists. So with the quote window, we can simply create our own watch list from here. You'll see at the top here we can enter code, so we can simply type in what it is we want to look at. So let's say we were watching Vodafone. We can also watch the euro dollar. We can also have a look at something on German Stock Exchange, and maybe we also want to look at something in America, let's say, like Ford. And you'll see here it generates a watch list for you. Obviously this will grow the more instruments you do add, and here we can then save that by simply clicking on save and naming it. For this example, we'll just name it 1234 and select OK. Here when we go down to user watch list, you'll find it's got it saved here, so we can recover it at any stage, or we can delete that, add more, etc. Secondly, market activity. We can now sort through the market activity, so we can maybe sort through the whole LSE, or pick a market there obviously yourself, and maybe do it by value, and this will populate that for you. Otherwise, we've got system watch lists, which are pretty much your standards. Okay, so we've got all international markets, which you can see there. We can have a look at the FTSE 100. Now, if we want to sort through these by, let's say, movement for the day, last price, percentage movement, simply left-click on the column at the top, and it will sort that for you in order. Because there's such a vast majority of codes within the CFD trading platform, the CFD platform does, under the help menu at the top here, have an option called database codes. It will launch as a separate window for you to have a look at. So if we want to search around and have a look at some of these different codes, there are already different menus on the left hand side that you can drill into. So you can have a look there, anything from economic data through to futures codes, market indices, interest rates, etc. You can simply click on one of those and it will do the drop down for you. We can have a look at overseas indices. You can drill into Europe, and then once we're in there, on the right hand side, it will basically give you all the different codes that you need. So the FTSE 100, for example, is FTSE is the code, and that will give you the basic cash rate code. At the top there you can see the CAC 40, which is the French top 40 stocks. Alternatively, for a search, the top here in the search column, we can type in what it is we're looking for. So in this case, let's say it's the FTSE. Once we select go, down the left hand side here, it will then drill down into what you're looking for. So overseas indices, index futures we might want to look at, and there are all the different futures under that search category that we looked for. Again, sometimes it's quite hard to find the exact stock code to type into a depth screen or wherever you need it within the CFD trading platform. That's why the Navigator function is quite good. If you don't know the code but you know the name of the security or the future or what have you, you simply come down to the Security Navigator here. It can be found under the Security tab in the top left of the platform in the middle there. We simply can select out the exchange that we want to look at, or you can select all the exchanges. So let's say we narrowed it down to the LSE. We can select the name. So let's say we needed to find, as we mentioned before, Vodafone. You type it in there. We simply hit search. You can obviously drill down into the different types of products that you did want to search. By selecting search, it will now populate all the different types of Vodafone that we can trade. BOD.LSE, you can see at the top there, is the Vodafone Group, which is listed on the London Stock Exchange. International markets can be found in the Watchlist. It is a great place to have a look at a general snapshot of all global markets and even some commodity and FX based products, just to see, I suppose, or just to give you a general snapshot of what the markets have done. So once you're in the quote window, simply head down to System Watchlist. Under System Watchlist at the top there, you'll see international markets. And again, it's just a good way to grasp or to gauge where the markets are at this point in the day. They all are updated depending on what data feeds you have, whether it be live or 15 minutes delayed is generally as they'll come through. On top of this, if you do want to be more market specific, you can see on the left there are individual indexes for the different markets around the world. For monitor of your trading or your trade analysis, simply head up to Analytics at the top there. Right down to the bottom is Trade Analysis. Trade analysis is a good way to drill into an individual position that you might have or that you're looking at getting into. So if we really wanted to analyze the movements for Vodafone, you simply type in the code in the top left hand side there. It'll give you a much better drill down into the day's trading session, and it also gives you that visual representation on the right hand side. So we'll go through all the trades today, the prices they've gone through, the number of trades at that price and the time. Here we can see on the right hand side, you can simply see where majority of volumes go through. Again, it can really help you analyze the stock, what's maybe good value, what's overvalued, what's undervalued, and you can see where majority of people are trading. This is where most traders will come to have a look at the average price of the day or the volume weighted average price, again, so that maybe you can work out what a good price to get in or out of that stock is, or that CFD at any stage throughout a day. You can sort this by date, you can group it by price, or you can group it by hour. Secondly, if you do want to have a look in depth at the day's trading of an individual CFD, right click on it and you'll see halfway down you get course of sales. Left click on course of sales, and what this will do either for today, or you can select a date and go back to previous day's trading. Here we can see all the different orders that have gone through today, price, volume, time, obviously date, and the type of order it was that went through. Okay, so you can scroll down to the bottom there. This will do the whole day's trading, as I mentioned, so that you can maybe check your orders or check again where majority of volumes are coming through. Just another benefit of a transparent CFD trading platform. Now let's move on to the charting facilities for all the technical analyst buffs. Here we've already got up a chart. Let's have a look at something different, maybe Barclays. So you simply type in the code in the top left hand side to have a look at the chart. Firstly, what most people do like doing is configuring the style of chart. Obviously this is just a line chart. We can right click on this, simply head down to Edit Chart. Edit Chart will then allow you to set colors of either the background or the lines that are flowing through it. Firstly, at the top here we can check the style of chart we want. Most people will go for something like a candle. I want to zoom into a section here, so let's say this trading period from maybe roughly around May. If you left click on the screen and drag, you can actually zoom in on certain time frames. Right click on a candle if you want to change the colors, as I mentioned previously, edit chart, scroll across to set color. Once the set color box comes up, what we can simply do is look up on the right hand side here. Now we can change it for either both movements, so have all the candles the same color, but in this case we maybe want to have the up candles as green, so simply select the color in the middle there. You'll see it on the line down here and in the box. And then for a down candle or a bearish candle, we want to click on, let's say, the red, and have red candles there. Select OK, and it will repopulate our candles for us. Charts can be organized in many different formats. We can have yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, down to all your different intraday charts, which do go back historically as well, all the way up to a tick movement or a tick trade chart. And this is all updated live, depending on the data feeds that you do have, and will keep rolling throughout the day for you. Lastly, if you do like the chart that you have created, simply left click on the options at the top of the screen here, and we can go to Save Charts. Here in Save Charts, we can save our chart, name it whatever we like, and select OK. Now if we lose this chart or we want to go back to this chart, it will save all the indicators and everything that you've got on it. Again, head back up to Options, left click there, down to Save Charts, and you'll see our save chart here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will repopulate that for us. Now moving on to our drawing tools. Obviously most people do like to draw. I'm going to zoom in on this chart here. Simply click on the button in the middle here, labeled Drawing Tool. Left click on that, and it will give you now a new menu for all your drawing items. We can select a crosshair potentially, anywhere we want on the screen. For those of you who like drawing channels, left click on the line option on the left hand side, and we can simply draw some channels wherever we see fit on the screen. Alternatively, support and resistance lines can be used as well. Simply click the support resistance line. It will automatically draw a horizontal line for you, which you can place wherever you see fit. There's a vertical line too, if you need to place one of them somewhere in the screen. Again, it's fixed and it will always display the date for you. The horizontal line will always display the price for you when you move it up and down. All the Fibonacci fans, retracements, maybe where you hit a relative high down to a relative low, and that will plot that for you. You can make notes with text box and so forth, and it will place that on the screen for you too. On from drawing tools, there are numerous indicators that can be used via the platform. If you head up to the little indicator box up here, it says Add Indicator, left click on that, it's going to bring up a menu list of all your options. One of the benefits of having direct market access, for example, is you have the ability to get volumes. So it will plot volumes for you in specific points in the chart. You can change color or zoom in to get a much better indication there. On top of that, we can put in moving averages, 2 lines, Bollinger Bands. We can overlay other prices, MACD, movement, stochastics. So there's plenty of different indicators there for you to use. Moving averages, we can place a 3-line moving average, select our default periods and select finish. That will plot them there. We can change the colors of that quite easily. On top of all this, what we can also do is overlay prices, which not a lot of people offer. So by overlaying price, we can select a different stock. Maybe let's select Lloyd's, and that will also overlay another price there for you. It currently is in a blue line there, but that can be changed again to candles or what have you. So you can plot 2 different performing stocks against each other. Great for arbitrage trading or maybe even pairs trading, just so you can pick your divergence, convergence there. To clear this whole chart, you simply click on the white sheet of paper that says Clear Chart, and you'll go back to square one.